Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rafika Andella and I'm from Economic Education, Universitas Negeri Padang. Now I will give you explanation about economic monetary. At least that is the mind mapping of monetary economic. And there have two topic. Let's replay the first topic.
Okay, I will present about an overview financial system. At first, classification of financial market. First, the monetary of financial asset traded. The money market is a financial market in which only short-term debt instruments are traded. The capital market is a market in which longer-term debt and equity. And the second, whether the financial instrument are newly issued. A primary market is a financial market in which a borrower issues new securities in exchange for cash. Second, structural financial market. That is the debt market, the equity market, the foreign exchange market, and the derivative market. Third, function of financial market. The reach of money. And second, fund mobilization. Third, liquidity. Fourth, price determination. And the last, easy access. Fourth, the role of financial market is the debt market, the equity market, the foreign exchange market, and the derivative market. What is the money? Meaning of the money is economic divine money, also refers to as the money supply, as anything that is generally accepted in payment for good or service or in the payment of debt. Second, function of money. Medium of change, for unit to account, and for store of value. And third, evolution of the payment system, for commodity money, check, flat money, electronic payment, and now e-money. And then measure money. M1, the narrowest measure of money that the Fed report is M1, which include currency, checking account, deposit, and traveler check. M2, the M2 monetary aggregate adds to M1 other assets that have check writing, future money market, deposit account, and money market nature or found the monetary market. And third, M3, the M3 monetary aggregate adds to M2 somewhat less liquid assets such as large denomination type deposit and repurchase agreement, $4 and institutional market mutual fund share. Why study money, banking, and financial market? First, why study financial market? At first, activity in financial market also have direct and personal with the behavior of business and consumer and the cyclical performance of economy. And second, the security also call it a financial instrument is a claim in a leisure future income or asset. And third, a bond is a debt security that promises to make a payment periodically for a specified period of time. Second, why study banking and financial institutions? such as a commercial bank, saving and loans association, mutual saving bank, and credit union. And third, why study money and monetary? Because money can affect many economic variables that are important to the well-being of our economic, political, politicals, and markers makers throughout to the world are about the conduct of monetary policy and management of money. And then money also referred to as the money supply is defined as anything that is generally accepted in a payment for good and service of is the payment of debt. And then money is linked to change in economic variable that affect all of us and are important that the health of economic. And the last, how we will study money, banking, and financial market. Because this analyze framework uses a few basic economic concepts to organize your thinking about the determine of assets price, the structure of financial market, management, and role of money in the economy.
Okay, that is first topic, and we will to continue the second topic. There are
Calculation the demand for money according to Ricardo, Irving Fisher, and Marshall. Demand for money based on David Ricardo crude quantity theory. First, the amount of money is inversely proportional to the value of money. And second, the price of good is directly proportional to the amount of money is a circulation, like this volume formula. And then the transactional velocity theory. The speed of money supply and velocity of circulation of goods and service are very important factors in measure the value of money. Like this green formula. And then Alfred Marshall said that Cambridge equation of exchange. In the short run, the Cambridge theories assume that the one amount of wealth, value of transaction, and national income have a constant proportional relationship with each other. And then Cambridge theory assumed that ceteris paribus and the demand for money is proportional to the level of national income, like this yellow formula. Understand the demand for money according to Keynes. Keynes says uh, money demand theories have two factors. First, Keynes theory of money is a theory that comes from the Cambridge theory, but Keynes emphasized another function of money, namely as a store of money of value and not only as a mean of exchange rate. And the three motive why someone hold money. First, transaction motive. This motive arises because money is used to make regular payment for transaction made. The higher person income, the greater for desire for chase food transaction. like this formula. And second, speculation motive. Speculation motive means taking action on the basis of forecast and change in the value of asset in the future, because factors that influence that amount of demand for money with this um, motive are the amount of interest rate, security defined, and capital gain. K same with I, or P same K divide I. And third, precautionary motive. Demand for money by the community also aim for precautionary future needed. For example, unwanted uh, events such as illness, accidents, food, and fires. The amount of money demand for the precautionals and demand by the three level of money. Modern quantitative theory, like this formula, say that M same with K and Y, and Milton Friedman said that the demand for money is in line with and synonymous with the demand for durable commodities. Friedman argued that wealth is nothing but the present value of the income streams expected from the exchange held. And Friedman's concept of wealth is an innovation and economic theory of capital, and at the same time a bridge between ordinary demand theory for good and service and capital theory. Friedman money demand theory assumes that people want to hold money because money is the form of asset that provide benefit because is a readily available source of purchasing power. Understanding modern Keynesian theory with the inventory approach and portfolio balance. Modern Keynes theory affirms portfolio balance. Portfolio balance explains that the speculative motive for money demand. This approach corrects Keynes' simplistic and unrealistic assumption, because portfolio theory is based on the behavior of investors who normally want to get high return with low risk. And second, implication of the Burnell theory. The interest rate affect the demand for money for transaction because of opportunities cost or holding money. And three are there are economic of scale in use of money. Demand of cash for transaction purpose depend on the interest rate as well as intermediately phase. The precautionary motive in demand for money arises because of the certainty in the inflow and outflow of money. And third, inventory approach. Inventory approach demand for money is like the demand for inventory, which is used at any time to meet various needs that arise at any time, but to manage it require costs. It requires an optimum amount of inventory. Understanding of classical demand for money. Classical demand for money is money function only as a medium of exchange. The amount of money demand is proportional to the level of output or income. And classical theory says that the money is accepted by the society because everyone knows that money can be exchanged for good and survive. In other words, not because of its intrinsic value, but because money have the quality of means of payment in society. Quanti- Quantity theory of money from the classical approach, based on Ricardo crude quantity theory, transaction equation, income flow equation of exchange, and Cambridge equation of exchange. They emphasize the transaction demand for money in the term of velocity of circulation of money. The classical amount did not explicitly formulas demand for money theory, but their view are inherent in the equality theory of money.
Okay, that's all for me. Sorry for my mistake. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.